Passion is not something you are born with or without. It's not some magical quality that descends on a chosen few while the rest of us are left to wander through life in neutral. Passion isn't tied to your personality, your background, or your genetics. It's a decision, a choice made moment by moment, day by day. A commitment to care deeply, to show up fully, and to give your all even when the world gives you every excuse to hold back. Many people confuse passion with excitement. They think passion means you wake up every morning with fireworks go off in your chest and a perfect plan in your mind. But real passion isn't always loud. It's not about hype, it's about heart. It's not the rush of motivation you feel on a good day. It's the drive that keeps you going on the hard days. It's not about having an easy life. It's about deciding that what you're living for is worth the effort. Passion doesn't ask whether you feel like it. It doesn't care if you're tired. It doesn't wait for the perfect conditions. It just asks one thing: will you choose to show up today with everything you've got? That's where passion is born, in the moments of choice, in the early hours before the world wakes up, in the quiet spaces between frustration and progress, in the decision to try again after failure, to speak up when it's easier to stay silent, to give more when you've already given a lot. Passion is not something outside of you. It's something you tap into when you stop waiting for permission and start living with purpose. You might think some people are just naturally passionate, but if you peel back the layers of their story, you'll find something else. You'll find a string of decisions: the choice to believe, the choice to persist, the choice to stay in motion. Passion isn't personality. It's not charisma. It's not loud or extroverted or Instagrammable. It's discipline. It's fire shaped into focus. It's refusing to let the grind of life dull your hunger for something more. And here's what makes this even more powerful. You don't need to wait for some grand purpose to appear before you decide to live with passion. You don't need the perfect job, the perfect partner, or the perfect opportunity. You can decide right now, right here, to care more, to give more, to live more fully in whatever moment you are in. You can bring passion to anything: washing dishes, writing code, leading a team, raising a child, starting an art, speaking truth, solving problems, healing wounds. Passion isn't reserved for the dream job. It's what you bring to the work, not what the work brings to you. Think about the last time you felt truly alive, not just entertained, but engaged, not just busy, but meaningful. That feeling didn't come from your environment alone. It came from you, from your willingness to pour yourself into something, from the way you cared, the way you showed up, the way you allowed yourself to feel invested, even vulnerable. That was passion. And you can choose that feeling again. You can choose it daily, even hourly, because passion doesn't just happen. It's built, sustained, and lived into one decision at a time. And yes, you have a screw life. There will be days when you don't passionate. That's okay. Passion isn't a constant high. It's not about never having off days. It's about what you do in the moments when the passion isn't automatic. It's about lighting the fire when the spark feels distant. It's in those moments when no one is watching, when the applause has stopped, when your energy is low, that the real decision happens. That's where the foundation of a passionate life is laid. You may not control your circumstances, but you always control your choice to show up with energy, with heart, with focus. That's what passion really is. It's not a feeling that finds you. It's a force you create from the inside out every single day. Would you like me to expand the next keynote in the same style? Life is always being built. The only question is, who's doing the building? If you're not designing your life with intention and purpose, you're still following a plan. It just may not be yours. The world is full of blueprints created by others: parents, schools, bosses, media, society, each with their own version of what your life should look like. These pre-made scripts tell you what success means, what goals you should chase, what rules to follow, and what you should want. And if you don't wake up and question them, you'll find yourself living in a structure you never chose, wondering why it doesn't feel like home. Designing your life doesn't start with having all the answers. It starts with taking back the pen. It starts with realizing that no matter where you come from, no matter what mistakes you've made or what paths you've followed, this life is yours. That means you get to choose how it looks, what it feels like, and what it stands for. You get to ask the most important question most people never stop to ask: what do I really want? Most people spend more time planning a vacation than they do planning their lives. They drift, waiting for the next thing to show up, assuming that clarity will come someday. But someday is not a strategy. Clarity doesn't arrive fully formed. It's built through decisions, action, and reflection. You have to ask yourself the hard questions. What are you building? Who is it for? And are you willing to take responsibility for shaping it with your own hands? Living by default is easy. You wake up, follow the routine, go where you're told, and measure yourself by someone else's scoreboard. But that comfort comes with a cost. It trades authenticity for approval. It trades vision for conformity. You have a screwdriver, it trades meaning for momentum. You may move forward, but you won't feel fulfilled, because fulfillment doesn't come from doing what you're supposed to do. It comes from doing what resonates with who you really are. The blueprint others give you might be neat, polished, and widely accepted, but if it's not rooted in your truth, it will never satisfy you. You can check every box and still feel empty. You can win every race and still wonder why it doesn't feel like victory. That's what happens when you follow someone else's map. No matter how far you go, you're still lost. Designing your life means disrupting the autopilot. It means breaking free from the passive scripts that say, this is just how it is. It's asking, why not something better? It's looking at the areas where you've deciding that they no longer define you. It's about choosing intention over inertia. That kind of ownership is not always easy. It requires clarity, honesty, and courage. It means facing the discomfort of starting over. It means admitting that you've been living parts of your life out of habit, fear, or other people's expectations. But in that honesty lies your power. You have a screwed up life because the moment you admit that you've been following someone else's blueprint is the moment you can begin creating your own. This doesn't mean you need to reject everything or live in rebellion. Designing your life isn't about rejecting guidance or ignoring wisdom. It's about filtering what you take in. It's about consciously choosing what to keep, what to question, and what to leave behind. It's about using what serves you and discarding what doesn't. Because at the end of the day, no one else is responsible for your fulfillment but you. A life designed by you reflects your values, your voice, and your vision. It's not about alignment. When you're living your design, your actions feel connected to your purpose. Your days, even the hard ones, feel like they matter. And the success you build isn't just visible, it's meaningful. It's yours, built by your own standards, not inherited from someone else's definition. Let me know if you like the third keynote expanded next. Survival is the default mode of the human brain. It's what we're wired for. Stay safe, stay comfortable, avoid risk, avoid pain. Don't make too much noise. Don't stand out the day. Just get by. And yet something in you knows that simply surviving is not enough. You weren't born to merely make it to the end of the week, the month, the year. You weren't built for a life of routines and repetition, waiting for weekends and aging into regrets. You were born to create. Creation is the highest expression of human potential. It's not reserved for artists or inventors or entrepreneurs. It's not about titles or industries or talents. It's about the mindset you bring to your life. To create means to build something from within you, something that didn't exist before. That could be a vision, a relationship, a solution, a movement, a way of living. It could be a story you tell, a culture you shape, a legacy you leave behind. Every day gives you a blank canvas. And whether you use it to repeat the past or build something new is a decision only you can make. Survival says play it safe. Creation says play it real. When you're just trying to get by, you make choices based on fear. You avoid change, you settle for less, you shrink your voice. But when you live to create, you make choices from vision. You move through fear. You challenge the norm. You push boundaries, including your own. Because creation isn't comfortable. It's powerful. It wakes you up. It forces you to grow. It demands more of you, not because you're not enough, but because you are meant for more. The difference between surviving and creating shows up in the smallest moments. It's the difference between reacting and responding, between consuming and contributing, between drifting through life and deliberately shaping it. When you're stuck in survival, your energy is constantly being spent on managing, coping, defending, and enduring. But when you create, your energy multiplies. You tap into flow. You become magnetic because there is nothing more attractive than a person fully engaged in building something that matters. It's easy to fall into the survival trap, especially when life throws challenges your way, when money is tight, when time is short, when failure shows up. But those are the moments when creation becomes even more important, because survival will always give you a reason to shrink. It tells you to wait, to hold back, to stay small. Creation invites you to rise, to act even when it's hard, to build even when you're unsure, to trust that what you create today will shape the opportunities of tomorrow. You were born with imagination, curiosity, and the ability to turn thoughts into things. That's not accidental. That's your nature calling you to live intentionally, to stop being a passive observer of your own life and start becoming an active architect. Every meaningful advancement in your life, your work, your relationships starts with creation. It starts with saying, this isn't just happening to me. I'm shaping it. I'm influencing it. I'm bringing something into the world that reflects who I really am. To create isn't just to produce. It's to take ownership. Ownership of your time, your voice, your direction. It's about saying, this is my life, and I'm not just going to float through it hoping for the best. You don't need permission to create something bold, something different, something that looks nothing like what others expect. You just need to decide that you're done surviving, that you're ready to move from maintenance to momentum. When you live to create, your life stops being a reaction and starts becoming a statement of what matters to you, a statement of what you stand for, a statement of what you're willing to build, even when no one understands it yet. Because true creators don't wait for the world to give them a green light. They move with the belief that the act of creating is enough reason to begin. Would you like me to move on to keynote 4 in the same tone and length? There's a moment between knowing what you want and doing something about it. And in that space, most dreams die. It's not because people lack intelligence or talent or opportunity. It's because they hesitate. They wait. They overthink. They get stuck in the gap between desire and movement. And what fills that gap? What fuels the courage to leap instead of linger? Is passion. Passion is the emotional fire that transforms intention into action. It's not just enthusiasm or excitement. It's a deep inner conviction that what you're pursuing matters. When you're connected to something meaningful, you find the courage to act, even when you're afraid. You step forward not because you're fearless, but because what's pulling you forward is stronger than what's holding you back. That's the power of living with passion. It shifts your focus from risk to reward, from doubt to drive, from paralysis to purpose. Without passion, action feels forced. It becomes a checklist. You push through your days without direction, going through motions that mean little to you. But when passion is present, energy changes, time stretches, focus sharpens. You stop waiting for the perfect moment because you realize the perfect moment is whatever moment you decide to make count. Passion anchors you to your why. And that why gives you the strength to break through resistance. The world doesn't need more passive ambition. It doesn't need more people who talk about what they could do someday. It needs people who burn with the desire to move. People who understand that courage is not the absence of fear. It's the ability to move forward in spite of it. When you're passionate, fear doesn't disappear, but it loses its power because your commitment becomes bigger than your comfort. Your reason becomes bigger than your resistance. That doesn't mean action will always be easy. Passion isn't a magic wand that makes everything effortless. There will still be failure, still be uncertainty. But passion gives those struggles meaning. It turns them in part of the story instead of reasons to stop. Passion gives you something to fight for. And when you have something to fight for, you fight harder. You push further. You rise faster. There is a different kind of courage that passion creates. The courage to be seen. The courage to be imperfect in public. The courage to try when there's no guarantee. That kind of action takes heart. It takes vulnerability. It takes the willingness to risk embarrassment, rejection, even failure. Because what you're building matters more than the fear of getting it wrong. Living with passion doesn't just drive you to take action. It drives you to take action that aligns with your values, your truth, and your vision. And this is what sets passionate people apart. It's not that they're more gifted or lucky. It's that they've chosen to lean into their fire. They've chosen to move even when the path isn't clear. They've chosen to be responsible for their impact, for their growth, for their progress. That kind of ownership requires bravery. And that bravery is fueled by connection, the connection between you are and what you're doing. That's what passion delivers. Action without passion is mechanical. Passion without action is wasted. But when the two meet, momentum is born. You stop talking about your goals and start chasing them. You stop analyzing every move and start trusting yourself to figure it out along the way. The most powerful form of action is not the kind that waits for validation. It's the kind that starts with conviction and builds as it goes. That's what happens when passion is in the driver's seat. Passion is the inner compass that says, this matters enough to try. It's what silences the critic and empowers the creator. It's what allows you to walk into the unknown without needing all the answers. Because passion doesn't guarantee that things will go perfectly. It guarantees that they'll be worth the risk. And once you understand that, you realize the cost of an action is always greater than the cost of trying. Would you like me to proceed with Keynote 5 in the same tone and format? Every day you wake up, you're presented with an invisible set of tools. Your awareness, your intention, your decisions. These tools, whether you choose to use them or not, are building your life. Not in a single defining moment, but in the slow, consistent layering of small choices. And while it's tempting to believe that success, happiness, and fulfillment are the result, luck, or fate, or the right circumstances, the truth is far more empowering. The life you deserve isn't waiting around the corner for the stars to align. It's being shaped right now by the choices you make, the ones you repeat, the ones you avoid, the ones you make without even realizing. Choice is power. Your life. It's the one thing you control no matter what's happening around you. You don't choose your beginnings, but you choose your response. You don't control every obstacle, but you choose whether to let it harden you or sharpen you. And in that space where life throws what is and you choose how to rise, that's where your life is really built. Not by chance, not by the hand you were dealt, but by the way you play it. There's a quiet lie that surrounds many people, that someday, somehow, things will just work out. That something or someone will come along and shift everything, but time doesn't hand out transformation. Time just passes. And without conscious choice, it passes while you stay in the same place. Waiting is not a strategy. Hoping is not a plan. The people who build powerful lives aren't the ones who get the best luck. They're the ones who learn how to decide with clarity, act with courage, and commit with consistency. The life you deserve doesn't just happen. It's constructed, it's designed, it's earned. Not earned through struggle for struggle's sake, but earned through deliberate action, through choosing to rise instead of shrink, to grow instead of settle, to take ownership when it would be easier to blame. Every meaningful change begins with a single choice, the decision to no longer live at the mercy of chance. Some people live like passengers in their own lives. They sit back and hope the ride leads some way, follow directions, wait for signals, and wonder why they don't feel alive. But creators, builders, they don't wait. They choose. They say yes to what they believe in. They say no to what no longer serves them. They refuse to drift. They refuse to outsource their destiny. They understand that even the smallest decisions carry the weight of direction. One shift in how you think, what you say, or what you do can change everything. Building the life you deserve doesn't require perfection. It requires presence. It's not about getting every choice right. It's about getting back in alignment every time you drift. You have a screwed up life. It's about not letting the wrong turn become the road you stay on. It's about remembering that your life isn't defined by one big decision, but by thousands of micro decisions. How you spend your time, how you talk to yourself, what you focus on, what you let go of, what you commit to when no one's watching. You cannot fake your way into the life you deserve. It has to be built from the inside out. That means choosing integrity when shortcuts are available. Choosing growth when comfort is easier. You have a screwed up life. Choosing to show up when it would be easier to hide. It means deciding again and again that your life is worth the work, the discipline, the discomfort of transformation. Chance may offer you an opportunity now and then. A door may open, a connection may appear. But it's your choice to be ready, to step through, to follow through. Life will occasionally give you moments, pivotal ones. But it's your decisions in the mundane, the overlooked, the daily grind that prepare you to seize those moments. Without choice, chance is wasted. But when you choose with purpose, even the smallest opportunity becomes a gateway to something greater. You have within you the capacity to shape, shift, and reinvent your life at any time. That power doesn't lie in external fortune. It lies in your ability to make decisions with courage and act on them with consistency. The life you deserve isn't locked away in luck or hidden in some future event. It's waiting to be built right here, one decision at a time. Would you like all 5 expanded keynotes formatted as a single document or repurposed for another use, such as a speech or video script? You are not here to drift, to settle, or to wait for life to hand you meaning. You are here to live with fire in your soul and direction in your steps. The power to shape your world doesn't belong to someone else. It belongs to you. It begins when you stop waiting and start choosing. When you stop surviving and start creating. When you stop following someone else's path and begin designing your own with intention, clarity, and courage. Passion is not a gift reserved for the few. It's a decision available to anyone willing to show up with heart. And when you live with passion, you gain the courage to act boldly, to speak truth, to take risks that align with who you are. You don't wait for the perfect chance, you make the next choice. You build, not by chance, but by design. By choosing presence over perfection, vision over comfort, and ownership over excuses. This life, your life, is your masterpiece. Not someday, not when everything feels safe. But now, in the grit, in the stretch, in the fire of each decision. You don't need permission. You need commitment. You don't need to be chosen. You need to choose. Choose to live with passion. Choose to create. Choose to lead a life that reflects who you truly are and step fully into the life you deserve. Would you like this formatted for a keynote speech, presentation slide deck, or social media series?